Oh, goody.
So behave yourselves. Well, that's
Well,
usually
which one
me.
is Mr. Tompkins? Hi, Mr. Tompkins. And you are,
Craig Westbrook.
excuse me, your neighbor?
Sorry.
Excuse me, are you a neighbor?
No, you said quick. We found out tonight. I went to the same colleges the same year.
Jeez.
You choked her all up, right?
Go all day long. Get out in public and.
Okay, Mr. Tompkins, you want to describe what you want to do here?
Yeah, my hope is to build a deck at the side of the house with the lake. I have a deck already there that only goes about a third of the way across the front. And it's kind of a octagon on the front, so it doesn't have enough space. I'd like to just put it back in. That where I can put some furniture on it and paving the chairs.
Okay, which one are you here?
The one in the
Middle
middle.
one in the middle.
Middle one here?
Yep.
Thank you.
See that octagonal deck there?
Couple of questions. What's the coverage area of this lot? Do you know?
I didn't look that up, but according to the last few meetings that we've had, the only way to get that accurately is to have a survey. I mean, we can do it, but it's not 100% accurate.
Cause this looks like it's way.
Over the
high coverage.
30%.
For the 30% coverage.
Way more.
I can go figure it out right now real quick while you guys discuss this.
Cause we should have the. No. Is
I think it's
that gravel in front of the house to where you park?
the gravel, yes, there's a little bit of gravel between the house and the road. That's where I park.
I think counts also. But I think just with the house, it's over 30%.
You want me to go figure it out?
Can we get the square footage of the property and the square footage of the house?
Good idea. Thanks, Joe.
And according to this, your house is closer to the lake than the properties on either side of you.
It's the same as the house,
This
just
is
the smaller house.
34.
south.
South side.
The south side is the
It
same,
says-
it's. And
This is 30.
The other one is set back a little bit, the deck comes out to the equivalent of the front house.
That says 34, 32, 37.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the lakefront goes there, but this house is, straight across and as is the front of that deck.
So town law is, just to inform you with all the little other
Yeah.
things that are going on here.
I've never been through it.
Yep, I'm just,
Yeah.
That's.
because there's coverage area. That's one thing. The other thing is how close you are to the setbacks, that in this case is the lake and the side. The third thing is by law, you can't build more than the average distance between the two opposing lots on either side of you. So according to this map, you're actually already closer than them. And with that deck, you're even closer than they are already.
This has,
And,
this is the double porch on it, right? It's got a double deck.
Yeah,
doesn't
the
matter
one,
about that part.
yeah, the
It's
one to the
distance.
north is taller.
Yeah.
It's up higher. They're down
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
ground level type thing.
Rule doesn't have
I
to
know.
do that.
Right.
But when we're talking with sight, but yeah, that,
Yeah.
I agree with the coverage. The other thing the other concern that I kind of had is in the comments in there is that with grown children and grandchildren and stuff and being able to have everybody down, you got two cars there, where does everybody park?
They park along between houses. And just, they're not down there very often. They park on a lot. And my neighbor on the other side of the road also lets us park his garage there.
Yeah, I pulled it up on Acorn and looked across the street.
Yeah, most of the houses in our area have a lot that goes all the way up to the road, but we don't, if that barn is there, and it's owned by the house next to it.
Yeah, they have the question, we call them the back lots,
Yeah,
yeah. Some people split them up and sell them, some don't. So there's three concerns that I'm aware of, just looking at actually the site type of a plan things another, but, can't have more than 30% coverage. And look like you're way over that. The only way to tell exactly is to have a survey done with that kind of detail in it. And we just had a case that went to all the way to Supreme Court, they ruled in our favor, but had, that survey been in place to start with, probably wouldn't have got anywhere near that far. So it cost the landlord a lot of money. Anyway, that's, so additions down here, now they were supposed to pass a law, I don't know if they did that or not. Anything that was taking place down the lake, we had to have that kind of a survey so we can make the determination. But we do know the square footage, that should be in assessment rolls, and we know the size of the property. So if it's close, you'd have to get a survey. If it's not even close, then that doesn't matter if it's, 20% over or 40% over, it's over.
You say it's
30% of the whole lot size. Yeah. But we try to get facts, not just opinions, so.
I believe the last size of the survey that I got, I thought it was. It's 107 by 3 years.
Yeah, but they have to calculate in the existing deck, the gravel driveway, that's all for coverage
Yeah,
and
like I
stuff.
say, well, we don't,
So
well,
it
the only
just-
thing we'll have right now, just to do a rough, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be well over it, is
Yeah.
the square footage of your building, if it's on assessment rolls. And the last one actually had that information. And then we got better information when they did the complete survey, but it verified the fact that the county records were correct, the town records were correct. They just did,
When you
Count everything.
purchased this, did you have a survey? Did they give you a survey?
there's,
They did give me a survey, which I couldn't find, it's like, that was out.
one of the county.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave all my surveys last 2 years ago now, just because they had some and didn't have other ones.
But ultimately, even if they exceed that 30%, that would just require us to review whether we're gonna give a variance.
Yep.
For the lot coverage and for the location. Now, is this the letter that you got from Hathix? Are they the north or south side? Hathick?
Oh, he's on the north side.
Okay, so that's the one,
You've got a-
okay, so that north side one is a rental unit and that's owned by these Hathix?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the one that you got the letter from that they didn't have an issue with it. Coming
Well,
out
there's
South
Actually,
Foot.
2 letters.
There's 2 letters.
Why, yeah, but I know, I wanted to make sure I had the right one for
Gotcha.
that other, for the house on the north.
Roughly speaking, 107. 107 from Brandon. 104.0. It's 5,250 square feet. The house, you have to put over an acre.
They just go by the footprint, but you've got
Deck,
decks.
The
Yeah,
existing deck.
Yeah,
Got that little back there, right?
yeah, there's wooden porch.
Yep.
Yeah, roof RN doesn't count, it's just the footprint. And the existing deck.
Look at that deck, it's probably,
That should be that should be right in the town records if it was, a permit was ever.
it was not,
Pardon?
permit was that,
yeah, but he might be able to get it.
I looked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, a lot of things happen. way
Yeah,
down
well, the
when they're
assessors
put-
updated their
Right, the
inventory,
assessment record should
they've already
be in
caught
there.
that, that's what we'll look at the assessment records.
What is the depth of that? What is the width from the house towards the lake of that existing little tiny deck?
I measured it, goes 8.5 feet out from the house.
Okay, and you're looking to make the hole across the front 12 feet. From the house, so it's additional 4 foot to that
Section.
existing, but then coming all the way across. Okay,
250 and 30%. 1875. show 57.8. 22.4. And then we show the bump out here on the west, north corner. And by 20. That's good. Pretty long. The square, 37.4. Hundred on that, it's 1,000 square feet.
It was supposed to be 1,100, the listing said 1,100 square feet. but- All right,
And it's a little deck on it.
How long have you owned it, sir?
since 2020. But that. I'm sure.
Did you put the little deck on? Okay.
That's there.
So where your deck is now. Do you know the distance to the existing lot line from the
Yes, we do.
south side of that?
It's right on there. You see it's 12.2 from the corner.
Okay, that's from the corner. All right, that's why I was asking.
And 6 feet to that point
And the decks is even,
is roughly 12 feet, 12.2.
no, I'm looking at the,
Out.
trying to go from the picture here from the, cause that shows. Is that roof overhang just just like a cover over a doorway or something? All right, gotcha. That's what I was at here. Distance from there, so it's, okay, so it's back there. So it's 12 feet.
I do that.
And the new deck is gonna be 12 feet from the line, or is it gonna be closer?
8.4 in length.
No. I'm looking, so that's gonna be closer than the 12.2.
No, it's gonna be the same thing.
From the south side, it's not gonna change.
It's not gonna change.
From the south, it's just gonna come out closer to the lake 4 foot and then all the way across the front to the north.
So it's 12.2 to here,
Right,
right? What's the distance from here to the line?
it's 6 feet. This line here, 6 feet.
So you're 6 feet from the line. That's what's after. So I believe that's inside the.
So this is all overhang.
That,
Right.
yes,
Okay,
but the deck is actually
there, okay.
there, and that's 6 feet.
And you want to make it 12 feet? Am I understanding that?
No, it wants to make it 12 foot wide. I'm talking about the distance to the line, it's only 6 feet.
Oh, okay, all right, so 12 foot wide from
And
6.
12 foot deep and 24. 28, but it's 6 foot from the.
28 point.
So. Just on the house, I'm not gonna put the little wood deck there, but it's 204. It's 1,041 square feet. Just the structure. Not probably anything on the deck. Okay? And there are 5,000.
5,250 you said, but that's,
Yeah, there's no way.
that's no way. There's no way that's right.
Well, it's a-
After what we just went through on Peckerell Point, I know that's not right.
Hang on a second. It's 107 feet on the northern.
Yeah.
Correct?
107 on one side and what's on the other?
104.
104.
So
on the
you're
other.
50 average, right?
Right.
What was your average? 105.5 or something?
105, yeah.
Yeah.
Times
So 105
50
times
feet.
50,
it's 5,250.
right?
So it's 20%,
That house is way more than, bigger than that.
maybe deceiving. I don't know what to say, but
What do you got?
I got. So 30% of that lot is. 1,605.87.
total of the.
And I have a total coverage right now of
1,000 something, right?
Hang on,
5,352.
That's the total lot size.
Right.
No. That's the coverage.
What's the lot
That's the
size?
coverage in square feet. The lot size is 49 point,
You can't have the coverage bigger than the lot size.
Right,
right, but the lot size is 49.61 feet by 107.9. Multiply those two together, that's the,
okay, so what's the total of that?
all right, the total of that is 5,352. Right, so that's the total lot coverage,
5,352.91.
0.91.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the building
And
cover?
if you times that point by 0.30,
Uh-huh.
which is 30%, is 1,605.87.
And we're
It's
sitting here
allowable.
today at
1,065?
I got 2,526 with the driveway and the walkway to the lake.
Okay, let's just make
So-
sure we're doing this correctly. We should take the average
Yeah,
of
we
one
did
of,
that.
did you
He's
take
he's got
those?
the actual
Okay,
things.
thank you, dear.
Yeah,
So 1,065,
1,605
605.
is 30%.
It's 30% of the lot.
1,605 is
An
30%.
existing actual,
The existing actual is 2,000 something?
Yes, according
Yeah.
to my calculations,
Yeah.
2,526, and that's with the front.
Yep.
Driveway,
That counts.
and then
existing.
I saw what I thought was a walkway, but I only did 3 feet by 26 feet, which was 72
there's a
square
narrow
feet.
walkway.
And that counts too.
Yeah,
So
And we're looking to add an additional,
28.4 times 12.
well, no,
Minus the-
because you've already got the 8-foot one on there. Yeah, so we gotta take that small deck out of there.
do you have that small deck counted in
yeah,
there?
the small deck, I did 10 by 10, because I couldn't get an accurate measure of that.
All right.
What is the small deck? Is
It's,
it,
By 10.
I call it currently, let's say,
Well, if you're not counting now, okay, it's 10 by 10, so you can just knock off 100 feet.
right, and if you didn't wanna count the walkway either, you could knock off 72, so you're not.
Well, the walkway counts.
if you take it out, go right.
No,
that counts as
it does
it's
count
permeable.
because it's- Yeah,
How
Impermeable,
about putting on pervious pavers in?
you don't have now.
What's that?
You don't have now.
We're trying to deal with what's on there now
yeah,
and find out what the increase
So
that we're
even if
gonna
you
add
took
for
the
square
pavers
footage.
off, you're still way,
it's over the 30%.
you're almost 50%. I think you might be, yeah, you're almost 50%.
What's the width of the new deck, total width of the new deck?
And that's not counting.
28.
28.4
It's the length and 12 for the.
depth, right,
the footage.
okay. Minus the 100 feet that already is there.
So, Joseph,
Yes.
the,
Yeah, he's 47% now without the deck. Without the new decks.
When it's super close, we usually request to do a survey.
yeah, we're not afraid of that.
Okay.
I just want to get the numbers. so we
Well,
can
this
briefly-
is it,
Right,
this
right,
is a
right.
survey, isn't
So-
it?
Yeah, but it's not, it doesn't have all the percent.
Okay,
coverage and
so,
kind of stuff.
so the deck is gonna add another 240.8.
And they're already at about 47%.
Right.
Yeah, but you're gonna minus you would.
I already did.
Okay,
Yeah, you take
The
out,
total deck is 340 square feet,
yes,
point something. I took the 100 feet off, the 100 square foot off for the existing deck. So now we're gonna add another 240.8, so another 241 to the existing. Now we're at 2766.
So I'm still curious here.
so what was the total for with the new deck?
With the new deck is 2,766 square feet.
That is two parts, right? It's the house plus the back driveway, planning.
Makes it 51.6% lot coverage with the deck addition.
yeah, that's the
You said it looked like it was more than half, so.
deck that's on the back now, the home. The
So
front,
we're already
the
covering,
front driveway. and
we're already
the
covering
walkway to the
50%,
lake.
just under 49% now, we're at another couple percent.
Okay,
Alright,
But theoretically,
it was
if we're gonna do
about
a
72 square feet, so you're still be at,
coverage thing, it
45%.
should be for the full amount.
So let's
yeah,
talk about this for a few minutes? So this is, some old pavement there? See here, the backside here? There's some paved, or is it just, you know, beaten
it's
down
some-
mud?
This is grass here. There's just a little bit of gravel in front of which the garage door,
The one garage door.
right?
Is that the main parking spot for the house though?
There's a garage.
So I don't think that,
That's not gonna be significant enough to knock out 20% of the total.
Right,
I think I went 16 deep and then the width of the house.
Right.
And 16 would be to the right of way line, not the edge of the pavement. Cause the right of way on a 3-bar road is 24 feet, 10 inches from the center of the line. Which that shows on Encore anyway, that yellow line right there is the right of way.
so this deck was already there.
The
Sir,
little one, yeah.
the little one was already there when you purchased it, so they were over when this man purchased this place.
Correct, and
Okay.
Well, that's why they put those laws in, because people were building too close to the lake and building too
Right.
much stuff on the lots, there's no place for the water to go.
There was zero, there wasn't one thing in the property folder, so all this added stuff that I
Okay.
put in there.
And plus, if you get too much towards the front, you're
Yep, the race
impeding
for the
your
lake.
neighbors' views, so that's, okay.
I
So
don't-
one thing you have to understand about this process, we're going to the variances here. The variances for you, the variances for the property. Okay, so I just have to remind people of that because you had different neighbors or you were a different neighbor. We always take people's facts and neighbors into consideration. But you have to understand this is the variances for the property, it stays forever with the property. So as it stands right now, you're asking for a 70% variance in coverage, because you're already at 51%. And you want 100% variance in the building location, because you're the closest one to the lake it is now, and you're not allowed to go closer than the average between the two places on either side of you, and you're closer than them to start with.
Ed, hang on a minute. He's at 51% over, he's allowed at 30%. So
Yeah,
he's
it's a
only
se-
looking
that's a
for,
se- That's a 70% difference.
no,
Yes,
no.
it is. We just went through this in court.
This
It's not a
is where we got-
20% difference.
Yeah, this is
Difference
where
in
we
the
got-
variance.
Okay,
Percent of the variance is 70%.
alright, and then 4 foot on the south side, cause it's supposed to be a 10-foot setback.
And that's, yep, I haven't even got to that part yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're actually
that's-
issuing a variance for a bunch of already existing structure.
Oh, the existing structure is already above.
Yeah.
The minimum. So if you add to it, then you have to,
Do the whole thing.
And the other thing I didn't consider was the year it was built, cause it may have been under pre-existing non-conforming. If it was built after the laws were in place,
I don't think that matters on lot coverage,
okay,
because this is new construction.
right,
You're not gonna make it tear the building down because it's bigger than the lot size.
Right,
That's what
right.
that covers,
Yeah,
okay?
Okay.
But if you change your footprint, then the existing law kicks in, and that's what new construction does.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't tell somebody, oh, you gotta take off your garage because you got too big an area. That was done before the thing. No, they don't do that. That'd be unfair to the landowner. So there's 3 variances. Side lot. The variance in coverage and the variance in the building. Because you wanna build something that's 100% ahead of everybody else around you. Do you want to continue forth with this?
so let's talk about. it. So, I want to understand better. These declaration, what makes it. For instance, the grass, that's not a hard surface.
Permeable, it's. Yeah, the grass probably isn't. If there's any gravel there is, but I'll be honest with you, no. Once you, no. Not by the definition in New York State. You got a lot of, but that's, if you put in a walkway and it's got stones, it's impermeable. If you put in a parking area and it's gravel, it's
Towards the lake.
considered impermeable. Cause it's packed down. I mean, I got a gravel driveway, water runs down, it doesn't sink into it. And that's why they came up with that, cause it's packed. But no, they don't consider that permeable.
You ever seen permanent paver?
I'm just telling you what the state tells us about the thing, yeah. But
Just
like,
trying to understand.
yeah, and even if you put permeable pavers into that, like the walkway. And it was approved to be that kind of thing, you're so far over on,
That's what I'm trying to, so can we just kind of get a chart? Will be helpful to me to understand.
okay, so you take your total footage. Right, and it was
Which we just did.
5352
5352, right?
square feet,
Total of the lot, right?
right? Multiply that by 0.3,
0.3 equals.
1605 is allowable coverage,
and you're already at
25,
25,
26.
26.
Okay, so let's talk about that 25, 26. The structure itself is only roughly 1,050 square feet.
Now, you must not be counting the garage.
That's what that is.
That's,
The structure.
all I did is the main structure of the house, I came up with
The footprint,
1,500 section. Just the structure of the house without the deck, without the driveway, without the sidewalk, and without the overhang at the side.
right, which,
Overhang.
The overhang, we don't have to deal with.
No,
which the overhang I was measuring from Encore, that's how I was measuring, cause I'm only looking
Encore should
down
have
at
the
it.
building size
It,
right on there. It
yeah.
tells you the structure, square footage of the structures.
right, but,
No, it tells you right in there.
okay, I mean, I can look, but I,
So we got,
Well, I did,
okay, down this one side. we
Because you
got
said you had 1,100 square feet of living, so that's not counting the garage.
57.8
Let's not.
right, that would count it.
No, but that's covered.
It's,
by 22.4, and this one is
You come up with 14.
10 feet.
Okay, so that is below. the
That's-
allowed.
that includes.
20.4
Right,
by 32 point.
well, it's only part of it. So if you do this,
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, if you're doing it that way.
yeah, so
So that's. What's that number?
this
57.8
57.8 by 22.4 is that part.
Part of it, right?
That's 1294.
Okay, and then 20.4 times. I do believe it,
It's,
well, one says 10 and then there's a 4 foot here,
Yeah, porch counts too.
so it looks like all one piece though. See, 10 there,
Yeah, that's not,
And
that's not like counting the porch.
then what do you got there?
Well, that comes up to like 1498, but not counting the porch and not counting the existing shed. Is the existing, the porch and the existing deck on that.
Right, that's what I.
1496. Allowance is 1605.
Allowance, yeah, 1605, 30%.
Read that.
So if we're not dealing with the deck, we're only dealing with the house.
Right, but then you add on the deck.
You gotta add on the
So
deck.
And then
so
the
you put another
the
100 square
gravel
feet,
back there, and then the other part.
you're at 1596.
With the-
So-
with the
For the existing deck, right?
The existing deck was what? Now you got more than 1496, I got 1498 with
So
house.
1496.
yeah, but that not, I'm not counting the deck.
Either way, either way.
Yeah.
I just moved it to 1596 because it's roughly 10 by 10.
And then you got the parking area. So you're right at the max right now then,
Right.
but something doesn't match up with the size there. That's way more than 30%. Maybe get some real numbers from him. And maybe it's an optical illusion, because the overhangs,
Right.
Well, I think-
To that count.
no, they don't count. But like I said, the county records will have square footage of the house.
I was
the
on
buildings.
I was on those records. Work with the map makers up there in the county.
Okay.
And, we had a survey, but the survey was really not ready for prime time. And when they put this together, I went in back up with them to make sure I got my numbers correct. I was roughly 1,500 for a house, not including the deck, the existing deck. And another 100 for that.
That's the detailed report from Encore.
But all the square footage, Rachel.
It says 1,300.
But they don't only count structures.
Well, yeah, the building details, and they're actually only talking about the house,
Yes, they're not talking about
the deck.
they're not talking about the garage.
It says bathroom.
There is no garage.
Structure.
There is no garage, is there?
Yeah.
But it's attached to the, it's all one structure.
Cause like I say, we got more than that, so did you.
But it's not off by 70%.
No, it's over, but it's probably not much over.
Right.
Without the deck. The deck puts it over.
Yeah, they're counting living area. If you look at a page,
Oh, they're counting living area, yeah, that makes,
if you look at this page, it says. Living area.
all building
13
details, primary building only.
Residential building.
They're supposed to have in here someplace, you should have outbuildings and attachments. Remodeled 1997. Total living area. Yeah, that's all they're counting.
That's better than that. Must have been, that's.
Is the garage newer or the
Better,
better?
And I
right.
have no history of permits pulled for the life of that house since 1955.
Yeah, something got remodeled in 97. So somebody's got a record of it someplace, because it wouldn't have showed up in here.
It's the height of the deck that'll off the ground. What's,
Oh, now.
what's the flooring of the deck? How far off the ground is it? How much clearance is under the deck?
Come out the side door, you're probably 3 feet off the ground.
Okay,
And that back is that same height. The current deck is.
So based on this, in order to make a determination on the coverage, we're gonna have to have a survey. That shows, then they calculate all the coverages for you. So you have that.
You have to ask specifically. When you're talking with the surveyor to put the coverages on.
So let's just play with this a little longer. It's 16.
Well, that's not the biggest issue, because
Saying it is,
okay.
just understand that.
just before you go spend a lot of money, I just wanna make you aware how.
So let's say it's 1,600. Okay?
Yep.
And we put a 12 by 20. Yes. This 100 square
Yep,
feet,
yep.
right?
So the whole thing's told like
Right.
28.4.
Right, so, that would be another 200 square feet, right?
another 240 square feet.
So that puts us at, let's make it 1,800. This conversation. So. And neighbors. We're both very supportive of it, very supportive of it, supportive letters.
Mhm.
Not trying to pull them over, his eyes here at all. And I'd like to go just myself around the definition of the private area. And it's because it's grass, 2/3 of it's grass. So I don't understand how that's a,
The grass doesn't, the gravel does.
I got that word. So
Okay.
So that, you should put a number on that, because you measured all of that, right? Sorry.
Well, but, and the number you're talking about now,
Right.
that's not include any of it, gravel's included. We
That's
haven't
correct.
included,
You are correct.
so that's gonna be more.
Right.
Somewhere near
We could put side in.
15, 20 feet, whatever. Again, we can't act on that with what you got going on right here. Okay, from just the coverage alone, it's too close to make the call on that without having facts. Right?
Okay.
And they will, when they do that, they'll measure the walkway and determine what does that, what counts, what doesn't count, all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
but we are entitled to remove it.
Yeah, you can do it, you can take stuff out, there's no thing about taking stuff out, but
Right.
we need that. Honestly, the biggest thing at this point, past the variance is the 100% variance in the building structure. You're asking for structure that's already, you're already closer than the lake, so any increase to that distance at all would be 100% variance to that.
Understand.
And just want to make you very much aware of that.
And that would be a deck surface. There will be grass below it. From an environmental perspective.
Yeah, and it's not an environmental issue, it's the race to the lake issue. But you just keep building closer and closer because, like I said, the variance is for the property. Now, what this does, if we gave you that variance, that means now your line in the sand, if you will, is 12 feet closer to the lake than the people around you, even more than that. That gives them the right to go halfway out to the lake from theirs. So it's not just, like I said, this isn't a
understand.
variance for you, it's a variance for the property, and that's what the effects around it is. Just so you're aware why they put that in there and what the law is on that.
So. Instead of 12, you can do it 8, 10, and 12.
It's still 100% variance.
Understand? But it's a difference, 50% decrease if you go from a 12 to 20.
Not in the
No,
variance.
excuse me, not variance. All right.
We have to legally, that's the term we have to use.
Right, right.
No, it does.
Understand. How about the side yard setbacks?
10, so that's a 40% reduction, but there's already the existing. You're not going any wider than the existing one is now, right? So
Pretty
that's,
looking, right?
well, it's not for the whole. So it's pre-existing for the size of the 1 unit. In general, we tend to be more lenient when there's already an existing
Right.
thing there and
Structure
it's.
there.
Yeah, so you're not encroaching on the neighbor a whole lot more than you already are. So we have a tendency to be more lenient at because it's,
Right.
especially since you didn't do it to start with, but. It just looks better when it's even. You probably have your steps there.
Yep.
I'm guessing. Your egress is there. That's kind of normal. We deal with those kind of things a lot. This is not gonna make you walk in. Most people don't have a walkout from inside the house or outside, one or the other. You could put the walk in on the other side, which would eliminate that entirely. I don't know what that does to your layout. though.
Nobody get there.
You mean, no way you get there.
You gotta. You're gonna put it on the other side.
I'm talking about the walk up part of it.
Walk up.
If this part was,
But there is no pathway on the other side.
okay, so there's a pathway down this side?
There's a pathway. on this side.
Okay, that may get counted in the.
It
thing.
says it's a concrete sidewalk.
Got it. It's a 3-foot wide sidewalk. Right.
Oh,
Right.
oh, that's gonna count.
Yeah, but we're not gonna have it.
Oh, okay,
Can remove it.
then you wouldn't have. Okay. Just throwing out the options. At this point, my biggest concern is the fact that you're 100% closer to the lake than everybody else.
So for us to further, we really would need a survey.
For the
Yeah,
coverage, yeah.
Yeah.
And since we have to rule on all these things. So. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not in favor of ruling on 100% variance to the thing of the lake.
Oh, shit, I get that.
I just, you understand going in. But. The survey is gonna cost you money. You would have all the details. Exact. Because we would have to have that to rule on that part of it anyway. And since they're not separable, we've had instances where people are doing multiple things and we could split them in half. And then rule on one, and then they put another for the other part. In this case, it's just one event.
Mr. Tompkins, the folks that you bought it from, did they tell you how long they've owned it? They were there 12 years. So they should have told you.
They don't tell you anymore. They have to sell it. Even the realtors don't tell you.
I
that stuff. They just want to sell the house.
I'm sure all that was there, but when they bought it. well,
Yeah,
It's got that
They
light.
didn't put the, but
No, they passed it. When these first ones went in. Sometime in the 70s, the first series went in, and then zoning went 96, 98 timeframe, something like that.
Mm.
Zoning
When did we
96.
start on the? I started in 96, you were already out.
Oh, me, oh,
I took office in
I've been here
98.
forever.
It was after I came into office that we adopted the zoning code.
Before we adopted zoning, yeah, but we were on the.
You were on the ZBA,
appeals. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it wasn't
On the
ZBA,
appeals
then it
board.
was the appeal board then.
right?
She was on it before I was.
Have you ever seen previous behavior?
Personally, no. I know they've come up with a lot of different things for the, but like I said,
We've got a lot of my category.
we just went through a whole thing with the
Oh,
DEC
you're
and it's-
mess on Canandaigua Lake and
Yeah.
parts. I used to work for the county and one of my jobs was taking care of Canandaigua Lake and. Yeah,
technology is advancing because of some of these situations, which is good.
Another idea could be that we take away the porch. Come right down once we exit the house. And have non-pervious pavers, pervious pavers there, right?
mhm.
And as long as pervious is a definition that it doesn't include us.
You mean rather than wooden structures, just have
Yeah.
pervious,
Yeah, at the grade.
You don't need a deck.
don't need a deck permit for that, right?
You don't need a permit to use pavers or to have a patio essentially, as long as it's
Think about
non,
it, right.
as long as it's non-load bearing, so you can't go with anything thicker than 4 inches.
But that still counts as coverage, correct?
It does.
Patio.
Well, as long as they're not,
If they're not pervious, I wouldn't think it would.
but I would
Okay.
caution on, there is a whole section in the state code about this. Our town lawyer actually forwarded.
But this
it
is
to
the
us.
spirit of cooperative making, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
the idea, it's a good idea.
I think
Yeah, we'd have to find out, like I said, find out what the terminology on that is. I like the idea. It does eliminate the building part.
I'm doing one now in Gorham. And it's a 44 foot wide lot. Probably 70 feet in length. It's got a knockdown house on it.
Is this on the water?
It's on the water.
Ah.
And it's in Gorham. They've. It's like, oh, I'm not, I didn't know I can't do it. I right, moved out of the country. Yeah. I have been very active in fixing it. So I'm trying to see for things, how do we get people to a yes? I know you guys have your job, I respect. it.
Oh, no, believe me, I've been in this town since 1958, served as town justice, court of appeals. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and we are. Yeah, we're sanctioned by the town basically as a quasi judicial group, but we live here and we try to help people all the time. Like I said, I'm trying to be very upfront with you about the, you read the survey and it comes in to say 35% or 40% or whatever it comes out to be. That's one issue.
Right.
All right, that we're very sensitive about, because especially since people on the lake are complaining about the water quality, but then they keep building, and there's no place for water to go.
Right.
Okay, and that's the whole thing with the permeable stuff. Now, if that permeable thing, because non-permeable pavers qualify, because the state law does, it says permeable. I believe that's the way our stuff
Yes,
is.
and then our town lawyer brought up the definition of permeable,
Mhm.
and it's pretty low,
Yep, it is.
according to the state. And the
Yeah,
state.
Because even
defines
if we
it,
didn't capture
not
it
the
in our
Webster
local
dictionary.
one, the state overrides us.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just went through a whole legal thing on that. We came out ahead, but
The New York State Code.
it's
Yes.
in the DEC,
It's-
ECAP, right?
Yeah, it's in the New York State code, but you gotta specify, the DEC.
Yeah, it's an environmental conservation, which, yeah, me too. I did a lot of environmental reporting for 40 years where I worked, and I was town justice, and my first case was a no fishing license, took me 20 minutes to figure out how to charge somebody for it, because they got stuff everywhere in there. Nothing's in one spot.
So, but here's my map. And that is 1496, 100 for the bump out on the front side. We could put the stairs down there and have have impervious material on that, whether it's 10 by 28.4 or whether it's 12 by
Mhm.
8.4 and 400.
Yeah, if you have something that doesn't count as a permeable surface,
Right.
that eliminates the coverage, even if you're like, you might be close to coverage or over just slightly anyway, but you're not adding any new coverage.
Right.
You might be even deducted if you change your walkway.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That takes care of that issue. And if you just have a patio,
Right.
then you don't have to worry about, like I said, the whole race to the lake thing, because here's what started the whole thing. People put on a deck. Then they close the deck.
Yeah.
And then,
I know,
and then they would turn it into a room. And that's why a lot of these places have, you look at the addition, they're right up to the lake. So yeah, if that's something that's attainable,
it's viable.
it's viable, yeah, and it works for you. Like I said, we gotta make sure we don't step on DEC law, but I like the idea. I really do. So we have to do some more research. And then be better off if you had some of those things that don't, find out first if it qualifies.
I'll move that code.
Yeah, and then you might have to call a DEC on that. I'm not sure how you're gonna get a for sure on that. But if like, for example, if you replace the walkway
Right.
and did whatever you did in the parking area, that reduces your footprint. You may already be just under it anyway with those, but I don't want you to do any more work than you have to do. So
Okay.
just to be compliant.
If we go this way towards a
Patio?
patio, we have to have a step coming out of the house, right?
No, it comes from the side.
Oh, okay, you don't come out of the front, I don't, see. Okay. Linda, be quiet.
No, be quiet, be quiet. We talked about it, we didn't catch
I'm
that,
just
okay.
trying to make sure.
Yes, that's all.
No,
Get
no,
my-
it's okay, no. I appreciate that. Like I said, that's why I'm trying to get everything, I'm very open about this.
Yeah.
With the
Only way we can be.
different parts about it. We're not trying to pull something
He
over.
needs to take us home to his boss too.
So. In this case, does that mean we have to table these three? Or
I
do
would, I was gonna request a table anyway.
Yeah, we can't. So there's two parts to this. Once we get to the last step, we vote to accept the permit as it stands. And then we vote on whether to grant you the variance or not.
Right, but in
Okay.
case we'll go
This-
with it, because there's no.
With no finalized thing, then we can table it. It doesn't cost you, it doesn't affect your right to a speedy.
Right.
Things. It's just actually in your favor, because we rule it right now. You wouldn't have a chance, so.
We're
You have to
just-
wait
no,
12
we-
months. rule
We
it.
don't do a permit, it's the request for
Right.
the variance.
Yeah, it's a custom variance, but
Yeah.
they're agreeing to it, we're agreeing to it, so the time,
Yes.
the 60-day timeline doesn't count.
Okay. All right.
You guys help us folks involved in some of these plots.
I have no idea.
They don't
I
let
have
me,
no idea how they're.
they don't let me use, they don't let me use drills anymore since I put one on my head.
Right, you did. Merry Christmas, Chris.
See your head.
I put a drill bit through my finger this week.
No, I did. Yep, it fell off a ladder and the drill came right down and was embedded in my head and off to strong I went. Was in my head 3/4 of an inch.
And I belong to the fire department, so I get messages on my phone And I knew from the address, I can't believe this. I can't believe it."
Yeah,
So from the town then, can you find out more about those? If you have a make and model or,
Yeah, I can
just-
just.
Yeah, just email me the,
specs.
yeah, the
Brand.
specs.
Yeah, it's nice.
friends, and then you can
You
check
said
it.
something about only 4 inches high.
Thick.
Thick.
So,
Okay.
so
But I
that,
can,
that,
I can still put the sand underneath if you don't want to put it right on the grass.
right, as long as it's the
Take that out.
polymer sand where the water goes through it.
I got
Yeah, yeah. And, the reason behind that is they don't want people building on it.
Yeah.
So
No,
you're not,
that's
you're not
why
gonna
they
put
don't-
any structure on it. And that's why we don't
it. We do
require.
Go out 40 feet off the front of the house to.
I couldn't tell you, I couldn't tell you that.
If it's not, if it's,
You might be able to, I don't think it's covered, but
Oh, it's not full, right?
that might.
How far do you want to get in the water?
You could make it even bigger than
It's
the
a
12 foot.
great launch, so right there.
Do you have a break wall?
Yeah.
No, so you don't have to worry about the ice runoff, I think.
no, you're
So
good.
I would like to
I
request.
was gonna say, yeah, I agree. That's a smart thing for
So-
everybody to do.
Let's recess it.
So now.
Yep.
this
Now,
will give
You
them
have to
a
vote
time
to
frame.
table it.
We'll be done tomorrow with our answers, okay, so it's not gonna be the next Tuesday. Oh, next Tuesday.
I will be in Florida at our next meeting.
Let's do that.
Well, the problem is we
I
don't,
know how people-
we don't have a quorum, we're screwed. So there's two people
Hey,
missing.
five of you, you're fine.
We're five. so
Yeah,
we gotta
we're
have
missing
two,
two
so there's
tonight.
Missing, so. The last time I was in Florida, they had the last meeting. They shut it.
Someone does have to make a motion.
I move we table it.
Second,
Guys have to.
I agree.
Well, it's on record that
we all agree.
you asked for it too, so that's,
No, agree.
because there's a 60-day timeline when we have to rule on these things, so this bumps it without affecting that. Cause you know,
Going back to the drawing board.
that's okay, that's where we have these, we used to have a preliminary meeting, then a ruling, just because this happens a lot. You know,
But the state changed that.
yeah, well, they didn't really, but, because it's got 60 days,
Right.
so it counts from the time you.
We were,
buy it.
we were just told to start forcing it.
And we're still, we promise we did it 2 months, and sometimes it was a lot closer, there's gonna be days this way, or not. Within 2 weeks, but
Are we good?
good luck.
We're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. guys.
And I hope that project worked out for you, really, that sounds, I like that, it's a novel idea,
Which
get
phone
more
is
people,
this?
but-
Still
Not
close.
Mine.
Oh,
Not
it's
the-
recording. Oh,
Oh, God.
you guys don't have somebody else after us, do you? No.
No, we got
No.
other parts of the meeting we gotta go
Man.
through. You know what that's, so. Yep, good to meet you, good luck.
Take care,
Yeah,
Greg.
Actually,
No, it's no fun. Drills
Well,
out of my
that's why
head.
I explain all this to people, because they don't, they're
Nice
not
to
used to
meet
doing it.
you too.
They'd like to have somebody that's used to building.
Yeah,
stuff,
thank you.
but regular landowners have no idea this is going on. You really don't. I mean, the laws are all there and they always say it's your responsibility to know the law, which is the legalese. But we're more than happy to try to explain everything, in real talk to people.
So they get in touch with Joe then?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
get in touch with Joe, and find out
Okay.
what we can do with a permeable thing,
Right.
see if that works.
You're
That'd
welcome.
be-
Watch the deer go.
Yeah, watch the deer.
You're out of trouble. I'm worried about you first.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good luck.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
Good night.
Okay, let's go over the minutes next.
Wait a minute. One more. I'll move the minutes. From the May meeting. I'll move the minutes. I looked at them before we got started.
I second it.
I'm in favor.
Okay.
Aye.
It's passed. Now we gotta do budget.
No, we don't have to do budget, do we?
No, that's for the board, town board, honey.
Oh, I
Not
thought they had
us.
Dart.
This,
Budget
that was
thing.
just information so that in case we
I got
want.
enough information, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so you need something for some related you gotta talk about?
Yes,
All right, so. we're
In
going
executive
to-
session?
yes.
All right, so we're gonna I'm gonna move, we close the public hearing.
Okay. I mean, I'm.
No, we tabled it. You wanna move to close
Oh.
the meeting?
Close the meeting, yeah. not the
Okay.
public hearing, the
All
change
right.
the public hearing. Good
All right.
catch.
I'll
Favor?
second that.
Aye.
All in favor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Aye.
Who seconded?
Chris.
Me.
Oh, you did?
Mike,